Y'all ready for this?
Welcome to Destiny Children's TV.
We're so glad that you've joined us today. Today we are continuing our series looking at the things that God says about us, and we're saying believe it and trust God. So today we're looking at another story. We're looking at the story of the fiery furnace, and you can read along in Daniel chapter 3.
But before that, we're going to worship Jesus. So get up, find a space, put a smile on your face. We're going to praise Jesus. Are you ready? Let's go.
Just one word, you calm the storm that surrounds me. Just one word, the darkness has to retreat. Just one touch, I feel the presence of heaven. Just one touch, my eyes were open to see. My heart can't help but believe. There's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a mountain that He can't move. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. Come on. Just one word, you heal what's broken inside me. Just one word, and you revive every dream. Just one touch, I feel the power of heaven. Oh yeah. Just one touch, my eyes were open to see. My heart can't help but believe. There's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a mountain that He can't move. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. Yeah, there's nothing that our God can't do. It's not a prison wall He can't break through. Come on. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. Oh, yeah. Come on, we're gonna believe for greater things today. I will believe. Sing it with me. I will believe for greater things. There's no power like the power of Jesus. Let faith arise. Let all agree. There's no power like the power of Jesus. And I will believe for greater things. There's no power like the power of Jesus. Let faith arise. Let all agree. There's no power like His power. There's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a mountain that He can't move. Oh, oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. There's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a prison wall He can't break through. Oh, oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. Sing it with me. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa.
Many ways we can praise the Lord. Many ways to say thank you. So many ways we can praise the Lord. It's so wonderful. So many ways we can praise the Lord. Many ways to say thank you. So many ways we can praise the Lord. Praise the Lord by dancing, dancing. Praise the Lord in silence, freeze. Praise the Lord by lifting up our hands to the King of Kings. Praise the Lord by clapping. Praise the Lord by shouting, I love you. Praise the Lord by stomping. Praise the Lord on drums and guitar too. So many ways we can praise the Lord. Many ways to say thank you. So many ways we can praise the Lord. He's so wonderful. So many ways we can praise the Lord. Many ways to say thank you. So many ways we can praise the Lord.
Stories of the Bible. The fiery furnace. There once were 3 Jewish men named Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Hey!
When they were very young, they were taken from Israel to live in a place called Babylon. At that time, the king of Babylon was a man named Nebuchadnezzar,
That's it. Almost there.
and he made a gold statue that was 90 feet tall.
Perfect.
The king sent a message for everyone to come to the dedication of his statue. When everyone had assembled, it was declared that people of all races, nations, and languages would bow before the statue and worship King Nebuchadnezzar's statue when they heard the sound of musical instruments. If anyone refused, they would be thrown into a fiery furnace. So at the sound of the musical instruments, all the people bowed to the ground and worshiped. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did not, because they were Jewish and would only bow to the one true God. Some of the wise men of Babylon went to the king and told him that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to bow to the statue.
What?
This made the king very angry, and he asked Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego if it was true that they would not bow to the statue. Then he said he would give them one more chance to bow down, and if they did not bow, they will be thrown into the fire. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied that they didn't need to defend themselves against the king. They said, "If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your power, your majesty. But even if he doesn't, we want to make it clear to you, your majesty, that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up." The king was so angry with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego that he commanded the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual. Then he ordered Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to be bound and thrown in the fire. The fire was so hot that it killed the soldiers that threw them in. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego fell into the flames. But suddenly, the king jumped up and said to his advisors, "Didn't we tie up 3 men and throw them in the furnace?" The advisors said, "Yes." But the king said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around the fire, and the 4th looks like a god." Then the king shouted to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, "Come out!" So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stepped out of the fire, and everyone saw that the fire had not touched them. They didn't even smell of smoke. Then Nebuchadnezzar praised the one true God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who had rescued them from the fire. And the king made a new command that anyone who spoke a word against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego would be greatly punished. Then he promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in his court. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego trusted in God and were willing to die rather than worship any god but their own God.
So there you go, guys. What a crazy story about people being put into fire and how God protected them. Now then, the lessons to be learned from this. Let's see. It's not that you can put yourself in a fire. That would be an awful thing and definitely not safe to do. But in this situation, we learned 3 things. The first was, it's never good to big yourself up and to make yourself more than what God has made you. You know, Nebuchadnezzar did a really silly thing in building a gold statue to himself and make everyone bow down to it. The second one is, no matter what the pressure is, we can always stand up for God because it's really important. You know why? Because it shows others that God is important. The third thing, and I really want you to believe this today, is to believe that God is always with you, no matter what the situation. Even if you feel like your world is ending, like I'm sure Meshach, Shadrach and Abednego thought it was for them, God is still with you, and God can still perform a miracle just like he did there. Maybe at school you feel pressured to do things that you shouldn't. You can stand up for God, knowing that he is with you. Maybe things aren't as right at home as you'd like them to be. Know that God is still there and he can still do amazing things. Maybe you're feeling bullied or feeling like you need to compare yourself to other people. Remember that God is with you and he's the only person who matters.
You know, people who think too highly of themselves sometimes do some pretty crazy things. Just like King Nibble some scissors.
That's King Nebuchadnezzar?
Medical sweater?
Nebuchadnezzar.
Let's just call him Nebby for short.
Have you heard of King Nebuchadnezzar? It's a story of a man who thought no one could be better. With his heart full of pride, he never saw it odd that it's wrong to ask people to treat you like your god. He thought highly of himself and said,
what could be better than to build a big statue of King Nebuchadnezzar?
He said,
bow to my statue.
To his people in all earnest,
if you fail to bow down, you'll be thrown in a furnace.
But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to bow down to the statue made of gold.
What? Are you mad? You won't bow to my statue?
Nebi said,
you can run, but you know we will catch you.
We won't run.
They replied,
we have nothing to fear. We know God will save us.
And our conscience will be clear.
We won't worship you or your gods or anything. No God but our God, and that is that, oh Nebi King.
Fine, tie them up, turn the furnace up to 7. Throw them in the fire, see if help comes from heaven.
Now before you all say this story isn't fair, shouldn't God save his people when they bow to him in prayer?
Well, God showed up, made the people all stare. They looked into the furnace and saw 4 people there. Their jaws all fell and their eyes grew wide. Nebi said,
oh look, the Son of God's inside. Come out of the furnace, your God must be real.
Yeah.
The 3 men were fine and no fire did they feel. With the change of heart, Nebi made a decree that all people worship God and not bow down to Nebi.
If not, I will beat them up. I'm gonna make them pay. Black eyes and wedgies are the order of the day.
Yeah, that's not very nice. I wouldn't do that.
King Nebi went crazy, but soon came to his senses, gave his life to God. That was the general consensus.
Hey, I got a rap too. My name is Dennis, and I like to eat sandwiches. And, what, it's the song over already? Well, that's it?
Psalm 46 verses 1-3 says this. God is our protection and our strength. He always helps in times of trouble. So we will not be afraid if the earth shakes or if the mountains fall into the sea. We will not fear even if the oceans roar and foam or if the mountains shake at the raging sea. You know, sometimes life feels a bit like that, doesn't it? Sometimes it feels like everything might be falling apart or everything's a little bit crazy around us. But even then we can trust in God. Verse 1 of Psalm 46 is our memory verse today. Let's read that together. God is our protection and our strength. He always helps in times of trouble. We would love for you to learn that verse this week. Colour in the Bible verse and learn it for yourselves. We need to remember that God is always with us. You know, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego were having a really bad day, weren't they, when they got thrown into a fiery furnace. But here's the best bit. God was still with them. So even on your worst day, God is still with you. And even on your best day, when everything is absolutely brilliant, God is still with you. That is a wonderful promise from the Bible that we all can remember this week. God is our protection and our strength. He always helps in times of trouble. Psalm 46, verse 1.
She's the craftiest lady in the whole wide world. It's time for Jackie's Craft Gold.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you've had another great week. Because there's been a lot of talk on Kids TV this morning about a very important bonfire, I thought we could make a bonfire-related craft today. So I have started doing this. I'm going to finish it with you on the video today, but basically this is going to be our bonfire. So if you want to make this, what you need is your plastic cup. The size doesn't really matter. Obviously, bigger the cup, the bigger the bonfire. Some paper to make some logs out of, some PVA glue, and then some just different coloured strips of tissue paper. Now, obviously, in theory, fires are red, orange, yellow, those kinds of colours, but I didn't have those colours, so I got creative like I always tell you to do, and I've just used the colours that I have. So I'll show you now how to make it. So I didn't actually have any brown paper to use for logs, so I've just sort of roughly coloured in some white paper. But you use your imagination and you do whatever works best for you. So once you've got your logs, you could even use sticks and things out of the garden. But if you're using paper, then you just need to glue them together. And I just happen to have a bit of glue off my finger from where I spilt some before, so I'm just using that up. Now I have made 6 logs, but that is probably a bit of overkill. But what you can see here, basically all I'm doing is crisscrossing them like you would do if you were lighting a real fire. And it just makes a base really for the plastic cup fire. So there we go. I think that looks quite good. And that's my base, so I'm just going to put that to one side. I'm then going to take my cup. Now, as I said, I have done half just to give you a bit of an idea. And this is really simple. All you need to do is shred into big pieces your bits of tissue paper. Rough shapes are the best. Just put a little bit of PVA glue, and I'm using a paintbrush because that was just easier. In the middle, because what you want to do is have bits sticking out, because that then gives you sort of that idea of it being a fire and it being flames. Because if you stick it down flat, it will look different. And then just cover up the plastic cup, basically. Just keep going with all different colours in all different spots until you're happy with it. So here we go, here's the finished piece. And don't forget that you need to do the top of the cup as well. And then this just sits on the logs. So the other thing is, if you happen to have one of these electric lights, you can put this underneath it and use it as a bit like a tea light holder, like this, and give it a bit of a fire effect, which you see better in the dark. Please, please, please do not put normal candles anywhere near this because it will melt and make a very big mess, but any electric light will be fine. So I hope you have a really, really good week, everybody. Please do send in your pictures and your videos, whatever you've been getting up to, into Pastor Steve so that we can see them and enjoy them too. And have a lovely week this week. Bye.
She's the craftiest lady in the whole wide world. It's time for Jackie's Craft Gold.
Oh, hello everyone! Today we've been asked to do this week's quiz with you.
You know, I once lost a quiz by using the wrong pencil. I guess it just wasn't to be. Ha ha!
So anyway, we're going to ask you some questions about this week's DCTV. You will then be given 4 options. Just shout out the one that you think is correct. Have you got it?
Oh, this will be really difficult. No one is going to get any of them right.
Question number 1.
Which story did we look at this week?
Grandma, I'm asking the questions.
Oh, I thought I could ask them. Question number 1. Which story did we look at this week? Oh, I know.
Grandma, you asked the question.
Yes, I know, but I know the answer.
I know, but the boys and girls need to answer. So what do you reckon it is, boys and girls? A. David and Goliath, B. Daniel in the Lion's Den, C. Star Wars, or D. The Fiery Furnace? That's right, it was D. Well done, boys and girls.
Fiery furnace. Haha, it sounds like me when Ziggy eats my socks. That's what I am. Can I ask another one?
Go on then.
Question number 2. Who showed up in the fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Is it Jesus, B. Bruno, C. Darth Vader, or D. Buzz Lightyear?
What do you think it is, boys and girls? That's right, it's A.
Hang on, I can hear Grandad calling. Grandma! Grandma! Question number 3.
He might need help, Grandma. Go and help him.
Oh, all right. Maybe he's got lost coming from the shed again.
Question 3. Fill in the blank from our memory verse. God is our protection and our... What is the missing word, boys and girls? Is it A. Bruno, B. Carrot sticks, C. Strength, or D. Hope?
I know the answer to that one.
Grandad, you need to let the boys and girls answer. Anyway, did you see Grandma? She was looking for you.
I know. I called her and then I hid and she went past me. She might be gone for hours with any luck.
Grandad, that is not okay. It's not nice to play tricks on people. What do you think the answer is, anyway, to this question?
Well, I think it's C.
You are correct. Did you get that, boys and girls? Last question, then.
Can I ask this question, please?
Go on, then, Grandad.
Question number 4. What do we need to believe this week from the story? Is it A, that we should mess around with fires? Oh, that would be silly. We never mess around with dangerous things.
Yes, Grandma, the boys and girls know that. You need to give them the other options.
Oh, yes. Is it B, God is always with us no matter what's going on? Is it C, we need to lie about the things we've done to make others like us? Or D, Grandad is better than Grandma at asking questions?
Grandad!
I'm sorry, Dusty. D, that God is only with us in the good times.
Thank you, Grandad. What do you think it is, boys and girls? A, B, C, or D? That's right. It was B. God is with us no matter what. He doesn't play games like Grandad does with Grandma. He's always with us, even in the tough times.
Grandad! 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 Oh dear, I'll better hide. I can't find Grandad anywhere.
You'll just have to keep looking, Grandma. While you're looking, do you want to hear some jokes?
No, not really, Dusty. Your jokes are the worst.
Oh, well, I'm afraid of calendars.
Oh, why?
Because their days are numbered. Ha ha!
Oh, dear.
What do ticks and the Eiffel Tower have in common?
Go on, I don't know.
They are both parasites. Hey!
Oh, Dusty, they're terrible. Anyway, we better go. We hope you have all really enjoyed DCTV today. Have a great week, everybody.
Goodbye.
So we've had a wonderful time today. We hope that you have enjoyed it as well, and learning all about how we can believe it, that God is with us no matter what the situation, no matter what the circumstances. We can stand up for him knowing that he is with us.
Remember to go to destinychurch.co.uk for today's activity pack. You'll find our memory verse to colour in, we've got a colouring picture, and we've got some other activities as well for you. So head over there and remember to like and subscribe here on YouTube as well.
And we shall see you very, very soon on another Destiny Children's TV. God bless you all. Goodbye.
Bye.
Nebuchadnezzar, Babylonian king, thought he was mighty, but was a ding-a-ling. He built an image, made it out of gold, gathered the people and said,
Behold, I've got this image. When the music plays, must bow down, and if you don't obey, I've got this furnace burning hot with fire. I'll throw you in there, you will expire.
The people in the land did just as they were told. The music started playing, they bowed before the gold. They feared the brutal king, what he promised he would do. Everybody, they obeyed him, everybody but a few. What will you do when you're put to the test? Will you obey God or bow down like the rest? He won't forsake you, he'll be your best friend. He's proven faithful time and time again. Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego heard the king's order, but they all said no. No. Nebuchadnezzar, heaping, hopping mad.
So you won't bow down? Well, I'll make you wish you had.
Our God can save us, this we know is true. And if he doesn't, we still won't listen to you. He heated up the fire, 7 times as hot. The soldiers threw them in, were burned right there on the spot. The king looked in the fire, looked and was amazed. There were 4 instead of 3 standing in the fiery blaze.
Exit the fire and come talk to me. I don't smell smoke. How can that be? Your God has delivered you. I'm gonna give you better jobs with a lot better pay. What will you do when you're put to the test? Will you obey God or bow down like the rest? He won't forsake you, you'll